This weekend, we are going to have a period where you're going to want to hunker down and stay inside, but it's not a shut-in for the entire weekend type of event. It is a major winter storm for the Northeast, but when it comes to western New York, it's January, and it's definitely something we can deal with, certainly on the way. Winter storm warnings for all of western New York start 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's when the light snow will start to move in, and those warnings go through 6 p.m. on Sunday. Here's that snowstorm developing. It's picking up plenty of moisture from the Gulf overnight and strengthening as it does so. And the first bands of snow, as I mentioned, move in early tomorrow. Here's how it looks in your hour-by-hour forecast. New run just coming in for you. Scattered snow showers first thing tomorrow. A lot of your Saturday will be manageable. Fine in the morning, I would say, just some light snow. But getting into the afternoon, that snow is going to fill in. It's still light to moderate, so even into the afternoon, it will be manageable if you have to head out. Road conditions, of course, will start to deteriorate as we pick up a few inches throughout the afternoon, but the heavy stuff comes after sunset tomorrow night. That's when that storm system passing to our south will spin a lot of snow into western New York, and it will be persistent tomorrow night, overnight into Sunday morning. This is when the bulk of our snow will fall. So a lot of tomorrow is okay. Tomorrow afternoon, a few inches, but tomorrow night through Sunday morning, that's where we're talking about some areas seeing up to and even over a foot. So waking up Sunday morning, a lot more snow on the ground than when you went to bed. Maybe sleep in a little bit Sunday morning, not a bad idea. I think the bigger problem, not so much the snowfall totals, is going to be the wind blowing, drifting that snow around. So Sunday morning will be a mess. This snow starts to pull off to the north and east, so we'll dry things out, at least in terms of additional snowfall falling Sunday afternoon, with the exception of some lake effect snow showers. Especially we'll have to watch out in Orleans County toward the Rochester area, maybe eastern Niagara County, and we could see a little bit down towards the Chautauqua Ridge with just a couple extra inches. Now, I mentioned that wind. This is going to be key in the forecast. The type of snow we're getting is very fluffy, very light and fine, which means it can get picked up very easily. So wind gusts Sunday morning, 25 to 35 miles an hour, will cause those blowing, drifting conditions, poor visibility. It's certainly not a blizzard, but we could get near blizzard conditions briefly for a little while. All in all, it's just a messy Sunday morning. Wouldn't want to be on the roads at that point, but getting into the afternoon, conditions will slowly improve if you have to get out of the house. In terms of how much snow we can expect to see, still sticking with about 6 to 12 inches across the Niagara frontier, thinking on the lower end of those numbers, especially farther north and west you head, but there is room for about a foot with a little lake enhancement. Much of western New York, I'd expect to reach near a foot of snow, a little bit more off to the east, north and east of Buffalo. And then the higher totals where you get near a foot and a half is down closer to Pennsylvania into central New York. These numbers we can definitely handle. It's a significant snow for everybody, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. What I think is the worst part of the storm is actually going to be the cold, and that's setting in Sunday. Temperatures plummet by Sunday night and Monday morning. We're down below zero, and these are just the temperatures, never minding the wind chill. The wind chill at this time will be in the negative teens and negative 20s, so kids might want to go out and play in the snow Monday. Would not recommend that. This type of cold, frostbite, hypothermia can set in pretty quickly. For tomorrow, a lot of the day is manageable, just light, widespread snow developing early, becoming heavy late, blowing around Sunday morning, and then the bitter, brutal cold sticking around Monday before temperatures rebound quickly Tuesday afternoon.
When it was
it's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But guess what? We have our own interesting weather coming our way, right, Andrew?
Oh, we've got a big storm in store for this weekend. It's going to be certainly impactful. Now, we've been talking a lot about it. We're going to continue to talk a lot about it in the coming days. But I do want to share with you, A, what we definitely know for sure, B, what I personally think will be happening, and C, what we're still kind of waiting for over the next couple of days, primarily over the next 24 hours before we really make a snowfall map. But winter storm watches are issued for all of western New York, 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon through 6 p.m. on Monday. This is going to come with this storm system rolling through with snow of its own, and then on the back edge of that, lake effect takes over. So that's what this winter storm watch sort of encompasses, both of those things. We are definitely getting snow this weekend. It will be heavy for a period, particularly Saturday night and Sunday. Strong wind gusts at times, around 35 miles an hour. Yeah, we see gustier winds, but it's going to be pretty persistent from Saturday night and throughout the day on Sunday, blowing and drifting that snow around, causing very tough travels on the roads and definitely some significant impacts at the airports as well. So traveling this weekend, not looking very good. Now, what might even be more noticeable than the snow is the cold. A big-time temperature drop starting Sunday, lasting through Monday. Not only sub-zero wind chills, we may even see some sub-zero actual temperatures by Monday morning. This is the coldest weather of the season so far, maybe of the season. Tonight, all is quiet. It's the calm before the storm. In fact, we actually have one more snowstorm on the way prior to that weekend, but this one is not looking very impressive. I'll tell you about that first. Temperatures outside, though, are certainly cold. We're back in the teens. We're heading into the single digits, especially south of Buffalo by tomorrow morning. Quiet overnight. We'll actually wake up to a little sunshine tomorrow. Clouds increase throughout the day. Turns out mostly cloudy, but we should keep it dry for that evening commute. Maybe a few light snow showers starting to develop, but mainly after sunset is when scattered snow showers move in. That's that first disturbance, and we'll likely pick up a little bit of lake enhancement and lake effect by Friday morning. That could slow you down a little bit on the roads Friday, but only looking for a couple of inches, certainly manageable amounts, and then those snow showers kind of fade for Friday afternoon. So yeah, taking a look at how much we can expect from tomorrow night through Friday. Most areas 1 to maybe 2 inches. Some spots in the hills I do think could reach around 3, but it's very manageable amounts, as I mentioned. Early flurries, we had that earlier this evening. We're clearing skies, bitter cold for tonight. Don't forget about the pets. Bring them inside and make sure they're nice and warm. Kids tomorrow will have to bundle up as they head out the door. Temperature's not too bad, though. For the afternoon, we're back into the upper 20s, near 30. Mostly dry day until some snow develops tomorrow evening, and that will accumulate a couple of inches by Friday. All right, now let's talk about the weekend storm. The energy that's going to deliver this storm is still out over the Pacific, and that's one of the reasons why the models are kind of disagreeing right now. Once it moves onto land, we can collect a lot more data what's going on in the atmosphere, and the models will have a much easier time, and that's going to happen for tomorrow. Still, want to show you what I think is going to be happening this weekend. We're picking this up Friday. Again, we've got a few leftover snow showers. Now, by Saturday morning, the first bands of snow will start to arrive. Shouldn't be overly impressive at the start, but snow will pick up throughout the day. Conditions will deteriorate. Heaviest snow arrives Saturday night. This is from that storm system. And then the storm system exits. The worst of the storm, I think, is going to be eastern New York through New England. But getting into Sunday, well, this snow is gone. We have lake effect taking over. So with the storm and the lake effect, I think we have the potential for 6 to 12 inches from the metro and points north, and upwards of a foot to maybe even 2 feet at the most for areas south and east of Buffalo, especially in the hills. And that is certainly impactful. Yeah, we've seen bigger snowstorms, but this is going to cause a mess because it's widespread as opposed to purely lake effect. And not to mention the winds blowing and drifting that snow around and the brutal cold. Look at that. Temperatures down near 0 Sunday night into Monday morning. The chill will ease a little bit by Tuesday and
Good morning. Well, you can see the snow is still coming down here in North Buffalo. I'm on Chatham Avenue right off of Elmwood. Take a look at my feet here. You can see at least, I'd say easily more than 10 inches of snow. This is one of those side streets. Plow really has not been through here yet. You can see tire tracks, but really besides that, these are snow-covered streets, and that's what a lot of side streets look like this morning. City of Buffalo crews are, of course, prioritizing the main streets, the secondary streets first. So streets like this one here, Chatham Avenue, are totally snow-covered. So it is a good idea to stay in and don't go anywhere today if you don't have to. New York State Police is also urging drivers to just stay put. Don't even bother. And if you do have to go somewhere, make sure you take it slow. Also today, it's not just about the snow. It is bitterly cold out here. The wind chill just really makes it sort of unbearable. I've only been standing here for a few minutes, and I'm wearing about 4 layers, and it just cuts right through you. So extremely cold. Make sure you bundle up if you do go outside today. We'll toss it back to you in the studio for now.
All right, Ange, thanks so much. Some great tips there. Our region will feel wind chills below 0. Nevertheless, dedicated visitors braved the cold to see Niagara Falls today. News 4's Gabrielle Mediak caught up with some who say the cold never bothered them anyway.
Well, it is as cold as it looks here in Niagara Falls, but that didn't stop some tourists from checking out the sights.
I like it. It's beautiful.
I was just interested to see how beautiful Niagara Falls would look and see if it was frozen. It's just so majestic and pretty.
Families from Chicago to Connecticut came to see the falls in all their winter glory.
Pretty good, yeah, pretty splendid, and yeah, it's our first time.
Some had planned the trip months ahead, and without seeing the snowy forecast.
We didn't know there was going to be a snowstorm until like the day before we came.
And while the weather was certainly frigid, visitors say you just can't beat the view.
It's pretty cold, but I think it was worth it.
In Niagara Falls, Gabrielle Mediak, News 4.